U.S. President Donald Trump says it appears the man charged with killing Charlie Kirk acted alone. The president is pointing to early findings from the investigation into the deadly shooting.
They're going to do a final report. Whether there are other people involved is what you're asking. It would look to me like not.
That's Donald Trump on Air Force One, returning from making remarks to Kirk's mourners at yesterday's memorial, attended by thousands. The U.S. president and the highest profile members of his cabinet all celebrating Charlie Kirk's political legacy and appearing to cement his evangelism and conservative activism into the foundation of Trump's MAGA movement. It was a message that appears to be inspiring supporters of both Kirk and Trump.
It was powerful, and you could feel so much love and so much want for this country to just get better and grow.
The conservative side of this country is tired. We're tired of shutting up and just letting the rhetoric go, and I think that's going to come to an end.
Kirk supporters are also taking away a powerful message from his wife, Erica, as she pledges to continue his political activism. Steve Futterman was covering the story for us all day, and he is back this morning to begin our coverage in Glendale, Arizona, just outside that football stadium where the memorial was held. This is an event, Steve, that ran for hours in front of thousands. What were some of the key moments?
Well, Heather, it was right behind me at the State Farm Stadium. Normally, we think of it as a football stadium. Yesterday, 70,000 people, this is according to Turning Point USA, jammed inside. It was filled to capacity. It went on for more than 5 hours. Heather, it was a very interesting event because early on, it was all about pretty much religion. I did not hear the name Trump mentioned for the first more than an hour of this event, but it slowly turned into a political aspect, speeches as well. The speech, though, I think that everyone's going to be remembering is the speech by his widow, Erica Kirk. She was the next to last speaker, and we were wondering what she was going to say. It was a message of hope and remarkably forgiveness. She said her Christian faith requires her to forgive the man who killed her husband less than 2 weeks ago. This is what she had to say. Again, to me, the most moving moment of yesterday.
On the cross, our Savior said, "Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do." That man, that young man, I forgive him.
Heather, there were people who were openly weeping when she said that. It was so moving. The entire stadium was transfixed watching her speak. So I think that's the thing we're going to remember most. But there were lots of other tones suggested yesterday in the speeches. Donald Trump was not quite as forgiving. At one point he said he is against his opponents. He apologized to Erica Kirk. He said, "I'm different than you." He talked about Charlie Kirk becoming a martyr. This is part of what President Trump said yesterday.
He was assassinated because he lived bravely, he led boldly, and he argued brilliantly without apology. He did what was right for our nation. He's a martyr now for American freedom.
But the speech, I think, that had the most anger, the most bitterness, the most in your face was Stephen Miller. He is the Deputy Chief of Staff for Donald Trump, a close ally of Trump, a very controversial figure. And he basically did not hold back. He expressed the anger and bitterness that many on the political right have right now following the death of Charlie Kirk. This was part of what he had to say.
Those tears have been turned into fire in our hearts. And that fire burns with a righteous fury that our enemies cannot comprehend or understand.
So, Heather, we had all these different types of emotion, mixed messages, if you will, the religious and forgiveness aspect from Erica Kirk, and then the anger and bitterness sometimes from the other speakers.
And we heard in your excerpt, Steve, the president refer to Charlie Kirk as a martyr. Where does that go? Where does Turning Point, where does the movement go from here?
Heather, I think we're going to hear the name Charlie Kirk evoked over and over and over again, not just next year in the midterm elections, but in the 2028 elections. The conservative movement feels it has a symbol now that can relate to ordinary people. They're going to bring up Charlie Kirk. You're going to see, we've already heard about President Trump going to award him the Medal of Freedom. There are going to be monuments to Charlie Kirk. He is going to become a fascinating figure in American political history. The conservative right views him as a hero, but to be fair, on the people on the left, in the middle, sometimes do not view everything Charlie Kirk said the same way. He was a controversial figure at times, and even in death to some degree, he is a controversial figure as well. But the name Charlie Kirk is going to live on, and again, I think we're going to hear that name mentioned over and over again at political rallies in the years ahead. It's fascinating what has happened to him as a symbol in the last 2 weeks.
Steve Futterman, thank you very much from Arizona this morning, live with us.